Hi, guys. I'm Jerry Sanders, and I'd like to welcome you to the First Shield Financial Coffee Corner. As many of you know, the Coffee Corner is where we share tips, case studies, and education about investments in the mortgage and note asset class. We're really excited about the note business and wanted to share with you one of our case studies, which is a deal that we're working on, or we actually purchased in Washington, D.C. We put together this show so that you can see the results that we've achieved, and you can also see some of the things that happen behind the scenes a little bit with the note investment world. As we've said in some of our earlier videos, there are three possible outcomes for owning a note. The first is the borrower pays you off as agreed. The second is the borrower winds up paying you off early. And the third is the borrower fails to pay. So this particular transaction, I'll start by giving you a little bit of background. The note we acquired it from a hedge fund. The hedge fund purchased it from a fairly large, reputable bank here in the United States. It's a non-performing second. The unpaid balance, the amount that the borrower owes, is $40,000. They have not made any payments, however, in about 10 years. So needless to say, when we talked to the hedge fund and negotiated, we bought this for a very deep discount off of what the borrower owes on the particular note. The final thing about this loan is that it matures in less than a year. So that's also a little bit of a benefit to us for this particular transaction. Some background on the borrower. We believe he's a real estate investor. I'm not sure if he does fix and flips or if he's just a landlord, but we know he's a sophisticated investor. Solid FICO score, well-paying day job, and he owns a number of properties in the DC, Maryland, Virginia metropolitan area. So that's all very good for us as well. The property, it looks like it has a fair market value of somewhere between 350 and 450,000. After repair value, 550 to 600,000. First mortgage is 230,000. The house is vacant right now, but it has good bones, obviously needs some rehab. And during the course of our diligence, we actually found another investor who's interested in purchasing the house if we wind up gaining control of it. For newbies to note, this is the type of information we develop during our due diligence. This is how we determine whether or not the purchase price makes sense and even whether or not to purchase the note. The other thing that I want to say about this is we always have someone put eyeballs on a property. We want to make sure that the neighborhood looks okay, the house is there, the roof's okay, it's not boarded up or anything like that. Because if we do wind up owning that house, we want to make sure that we can do something with it after we acquire it. In this particular case, we looked at the note and our planned exit strategy was outcome number two. We felt the borrower would pay it off early, just refi it and pay us off. The reasons for that: the house has a ton of equity. The borrower has a reasonable FICO score. So all of that kind of made sense to us. So needless to say, we look at this as a perfect opportunity for a cash out refi. The borrower could refi the property, pay off the 230,000, pay us somewhere between 40 and 50,000 to pay off our note, and life would go on for them. But wait, there's even more than that. If they were to refi, their overall payment would go down. So the payment for the first, payment for the second, you actually pay less per month by refiing. But wait, there's even more than that. If you refied, not only would your payment go down, but you'd also put $30,000 to $40,000 in your pocket. So for me, it looked like a no-brainer for a sophisticated investor. I had visions of this getting turned over really quickly, and frankly, First Shield Financial making bank. So what's the story? What happened? After the acquisition, we tried to contact the borrower. We called dozens of times. We called in the morning. We called in the afternoon. We called in the evening. We called on weekends. We did everything that we could to try to reach this borrower. No response. We also sent letters to his house. None of them were returned, but we also got no reply. Again, we don't know why. Finally, we sent a door knocker to the house. This is someone that will go up to the house, knock on the door, give the borrower, put it in their hands, a letter saying, hey, we want to talk to you. We need to talk to you. Your loan is behind, and we want to try to see if we can help you. The borrower was polite. They answered the door, but again, no response to us. Because now you say, so now what do you do? So our next step is we send a notice of default. This basically tells the borrower, hey, you defaulted on your loan and you're at risk of losing your house. Typically, the first few steps here, calling, the letters, the door knocker, will get people to respond. In this case, even with the notice of default, no response. So we told our lawyers, let's foreclose on this. This note was purchased during the COVID moratorium. So as you know, during the moratorium, there were restrictions on evictions and foreclosures. However, we did our research, and this particular house did not meet the criteria for a moratorium, so we could proceed with the foreclosure. So based on that, looks like we're going to get outcome number 3. We're going to be getting a house. The foreclosure was scheduled for October, and to our surprise and amazement, the borrower filed for bankruptcy 2 weeks before the foreclosure hearing. Boo-hoo, no house. However, for those of you that think bankruptcy is a problem, bankruptcy is not all that bad in this situation for us. So we go to bankruptcy court, and the court asks, what does the borrower owe? Now, remember, when we bought this note, the unpaid balance is about $40,000, and we're willing to settle with the borrowers for somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000. We thought that was a reasonable amount. We'd make really good money doing that. But the court wanted to know exactly how much did the borrower owe. And the borrower owed, as I mentioned, $40,000 for the balance of the loan that hadn't been paid. But because they hadn't been making payments in the last 10 years, they also owed $39,000 of accrued interest, $4,000 of late fees. And oh, by the way, when you foreclose and you do a bankruptcy, the borrower has to pay our legal fees. It's about $7,000. Total, the borrower owed us $92,000. Bankruptcy court awarded us $92,000. Remember, like I said, my exit strategy was to refi, take a nice profit, outcome number 2. Turns out we wound up with outcome number 1. And how did that happen? Well, when the court awarded us $92,000, they also said that the borrower had to pay it off over 60 months. So the first 12 months, the borrower is paying us the amount that they owe, plus another couple $100. For years 2 through 5, the borrower pays us what they owe per month, plus another couple of $1,000s in order to be able to pay the $92,000 off by the end of the bankruptcy period. So actually, it turned out to be a great deal for us. We really liked the outcome. What I will say is a disclaimer for those that want to go out and start doing this. First Shield Financial, we're specialized. We're specialists. We specialize in the note business. We have expertise. We have over 40 years of real estate lending expertise in our firm. We also have a lot of note expertise. As a matter of fact, several of our partners are certified note investors. Finally, we have internal and external teams that are focused on generating the types of returns we're talking about. We have teams of property experts around the country that can look at a piece of property, give us price opinions, pictures, that kind of thing. We also have legal experts around the country that can do foreclosures, evictions, anything that we need in the local jurisdiction. As I mentioned, we're note experts. We understand the note business, and we're focused on achieving results. Because of those specialized aspects of our business, we can invest in notes and very easily and very carefully manage the risk. As a result of that, those folks that invest in us can invest in us and not have to worry about any of these outside or any of these additional aspects of the note business. So having said that, that's the case study that I wanted to go through with you. If you like what you've heard, please hit the like button down below. If you'd like to learn more, go to the comment section, or you can contact us via our website. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next First Shield Coffee Corner.